Thank you for coming to the channel. This is LAF Space Film Fest. That's capital LAF Space Film Fest. Put together a little video today on roof repair, metal roof repair. We've got our cabin here, 25 years old. Always kind of had some leaks now and then. Got up here, put a little dab of stuff here, dab there, a little flashing here, trying to repair it. But this year I decided to get up here and really check it out and find out what's going on. Come to find out, the contractor from the very beginning did not install this roof correctly. I've been dealing with it now throughout the summer. Got a lot of repairs done. I'm hoping some of the things maybe that I did might help you if you've got a roof like this or having some trouble. Maybe some things you can check out. If you go to YouTube, the Flat Roof Doctor is on there. Check out his videos because they are very, very good. The guy is very smart and he knows, so I've kind of taken a lot of hints from him on how to repair this. So it's a nice day today. It's getting toward the end of September in southern Indiana. There's a nice breeze blowing. The temperature tonight's supposed to get down to 48, so that's the first 40s that we've seen in springtime. So I'm glad I got these repairs done. I will get a few more things done, let it settle in for the winter time. Next spring, get back out here again, late spring, clean it up and paint it all and get it looking good. I think I've got repairs where I think they're gonna hold pretty good. Big shout out to Bergstrom with their Turbo Polyseal and Fleece application. That's what the Flat Roof Doctor uses, and I've used it here and I like it. It's a good application. I'm hoping it's gonna do the job for me. Thank you for coming to the channel. Some video and some pictures on the repairs I did. I hope it helps you. If it does, hey, hit that like button. Subscribe. Got a lot of videos on this channel. All kind of interesting, entertaining things. Appreciate you coming by. Enjoy the video. I hope your roof's not leaking, but if it is, maybe this will help. Okay, doing just a little repairs here. Steel roof on the cabin. I think when this was installed about 25 years ago, it just wasn't done right. And I've always had problems. You can see I've got a seam back here and a chimney coming out. Want a leak. So I've been kind of going through and fixing it. Found some good advice on some Turbo Polyseal and some fleece cloth, and you make your own gasket. Appreciate you coming to the channel. Got a little project going on here, and the metal roof on here is about 25 years old. I've got up here this summer and started working on it. One thing that's amazing I can say, if you use a contractor with a roof like this, check him out, make sure he knows what he's doing. I found so many mistakes on this roof, and I have had some leaks through the years. If I would have known the way they were putting it on in the very beginning, I would have kicked him off the job and had somebody else get on here that knew what they were doing. What I'm doing right now, I've got these seams right here. They have been, I'll get little leaks now and then all through the years. There's a guy on YouTube and he's called the Flat Roof Doctor. And I highly recommend you watch his videos because he's the expert. He knows what's going on. What I'm using here, a Turbo Poly Seal. It's pretty easy to apply. What you do is you just put the first coat on like this. Then what I'm going to do, I will then take a fleece, and that's what you see, these white pieces that I have cut here. We'll take that, I'll apply it. So there's your first coat. Then you just take your fleece and you just lay it on there, and what that's going to do is that is going to cover that seam and completely seal that seam and completely seal like these nail holes right here. Now what I've done on this roof is a lot of the places that you see marked in brown is I've actually replaced it. And that's another thing I think the roofer did wrong, was he went ahead, it's controversial whether to attach this roof by the standing seam or by the flat part. And I see articles both ways. But this one was attached with the standing seams, and the idea was that the water runs down here, the water doesn't run down along this seam right here. I can see the logic in that. He used 2-inch screws. I first discovered that when I was working inside. I realized those screws, by the time they go through this ledge, by the time they go through the 1/2-inch insulation board and actually get to the 2x4, you know, they're just barely grabbing the 2x4. So I went ahead and I've replaced all of them with 2.5-inch with the washers. I snug them down good. I'm actually dabbing them with the Poly Seal on top of it, so I think that is going to be ready to go for quite a few years like that. And eventually, probably next year, being 25 years old, I am going to go ahead and paint this roof, and I'll have all the sealing done, and at that point right there, it should be good to go. Okay, so once you got your fleece down on there, then you're just going to come back and you're going to put a coat over the top of it. And the two coats then mesh, soak together, and it becomes a really nice seal. I've learned this from the Flat Roof Doctor. Watching his videos, I recommend you go to him. He's a very, very smart man. Definitely knows what he's talking about, has repaired roofs forever. I'm not so sure if this is exactly what he would be doing on this seam. This is the best that I could come up with. I can see, once I get this done, I can see it. That's a pretty nice seal right there. And when it sets up just like, it seems like it stays a little bit flexible, but it's solid. I'm almost at the end here. I'm gonna finish that. I've done that seam all the way down through there. So we just go from there. Really, what I was talking about, the contractors doing a bad job, I should not be having to do this. They should have put this together right. There's all kind of buildings done right where these seams, these transitional seams right here, if you do them right, you never should have to put a product like this on there and put fleece on it and try to make your own gasket, so to speak. But the problem what they did on this building is this piece right here comes down and it ends right here where you can see it. This piece, which is the porch roof, literally ends about right here. So instead of this piece being longer and going up inside that one and then you put your flashing on, they're relying on this piece of flashing to seal this big gap. I would almost guarantee you what they did was when they put this building together, they had these porch pieces pre-cut, they had these pre-cut, they had them delivered, and when somebody put it together, they thought, uh-oh, we're a little bit short here. Instead of getting new pieces, guess what they did? They went ahead and put it together anyways, took my money and took off. The building is 25 years old. In Indiana, you cannot hold a contractor liable. It used to be 7 years, it may be up to 10 years now, but it's way past the time when I can give him a call and say, hey buddy, you need to come on back here and fix this right since you did it wrong to begin with. You know how life is. You just deal with it and you go on with it. I think once I get it done, I think once I get it all sealed up, I believe that at that point right there, I think it's going to be good to go. I may not get another 25 years out of it, I'm sure, but if I get it sealed up and I get it all painted, coated good, I'm expecting, another decade or so out of it. It's not pretty. It's definitely sealed up. By the time I come in here, get everything sealed, and then eventually put a good coat of paint on it, I think it's going to withstand the elements for quite a while. You can see on this porch right here, here's a good example. Here's where I have replaced the screws, and here's where I have not. Big difference. Big difference. And if you look at some of these screws, like even like this one right here, the way they put that in there, that thing needs to be straight. It doesn't need to be at an angle like this. The screws that they put in were these right here. What I'm replacing them with is the same type of screw, 1/2 inch longer, and got the gasket on it. You can see the threads are a lot more aggressive on it. As you can see how many I've taken off already. But I don't have this side done yet. Probably going to get into next year. We've got October coming up, so probably going to have to finish this next year. But you can see here's another thing that I've done. All metal is not created equal, and you see very little rust on this whole roof right here, being 25 years old. Although I do have this ridge cap right here was starting to rust. So what I did was I lightly sanded it, and then I applied a Rust-Oleum paint on it. Well, I think that's going to be good to go for the winter time. We'll just go from there. It is a project, getting it a little bit by little bit. If you think this might be something that you need to do on your roof, if it's a steel roof and it's leaking like this in some places, go to YouTube, check out the Flat Roof Doctors videos. Happens to be one of them, and I just thought maybe it might be interested. You guys might be interested in seeing some repairs that I'm doing and whether they're going to work for you or not. Here's a tool that came in very handy right here. The Flat Roof Doctor uses one of these. It's battery operated. The old screw out. You can tell throughout the years I put different kinds of silicone on the screws, trying to hold them. Those up there have some kind of a clear silicone. I'd actually take the grinder and I'd grind off the old silicone, pull the screw out, hit the area, put my new screw down, seal it good, and then put a dab of Poly Turbo Seal on it. And that's what I'm fixing up here, and probably next spring, late spring, I'm going to come in here and paint the whole roof. Clean it and paint the whole roof, and so it's not, won't be brown and green, and I've got some gray primer right there. It'll all be one color and it'll look good. At least that's my plan. Alright, I would say this section right here is pretty much done, except for the painting, which I probably won't get to till late spring. And then about half of these screws have been replaced. I'll probably go ahead and replace the other half down through here. Put some paint on that primered area, the gray primered area. So that was a heck of a project. Been working on it for a while. Through the summertime, it gets so hot, you got to get out here so early in the morning, and then shoot, by 6-7 o'clock it's already 80 something. It's just too hot. Everything almost seems to melt up here. I'm glad I got that section done. We've hit a dry spell, so I'm waiting for some rain to come in, make sure I don't have any leaks. I'll replace the insulation on the inside, better down for the winter time, get up here and finish the project. Gonna replace the screws in the garage here. on both sides. What I found kind of interesting is if you look on the south side, a lot of the screws are rusted. But if you get over here on the north side, paint's still on them all. Kind of interesting. I'm also going to trim this big pine right here back. Try to keep these pine needles off of it as much as possible. Guys, there we go. The project. Phase 1 coming to a close. Appreciate you coming by and checking out my video. This is Capital LAF Space Film Fest. I've got a lot of projects I'm always working on. I do appreciate you stopping by. Hit that like button if it helps. Thank you. See ya.